Welcome to Unhinged Magi! We've got a great show for... Wait, who's this?
Oh my gosh,
I
we have
just
a guest.
appeared. I just appeared. I don't know who I am.
We have another member of the Magi crew.
That's right, we do.
Because when someone else is actually on our show, that means they're actually now an official Unhinged Magi. I didn't tell you that beforehand, but now you're an Unhinged Magi.
I came here for the Street Fighter, and now I've been upgraded.
Yep,
so thank
that's
you very
right.
much.
So, do you want to introduce yourself?
I am Mr. St. Laurent, the host of Major League Wrestling. You can watch us every Saturday night on BeIN Sports.
And actually, that is really, really cool.
That is actually really cool.
Yeah, isn't it?
I grew up with wrestling, watching it on TV.
Yep, I'm terrible at it. But you're not terrible at it. No, you're fantastic at it, I'm quite sure.
I'm pretty awesome at it, at losing.
Now, actually, I can tell you that Mr. St. Laurent is actually a fantastic Magic player as well. We've actually done several old school games, and I believe like even the last one we played, I think you beat me, if I remember right. But anyways,
somebody won. It was close, I'm sure.
He's a fantastic player. We've met up at several events, and he was actually even here last time we did an old school cube draft.
I was here too.
Yeah, and
Just
you were
saying.
too. And the next time we do an old school cube draft, eventually, like you'll definitely have an
I will
invite
be
back
there.
to the
I'm
house.
horrible at drafting, but I'll be there. All right, so the topic for this video is what?
Oh, we're going to talk about black borders and white borders. Where'd the white borders grow?
Yeah, because Wizards of the Coast used to have this whole policy where the first time they print a card, it was going to be black border.
And then when it looks so good. Have you ever seen Beta and Alpha? Has anybody ever seen that?
No, what's that?
Really? None of you?
No
What
idea.
is this show about? Pickles?
Tacos.
Oh, tacos. That's
Yeah.
actually better.
What do you think we always talk about?
Oh, that's right. I always like to have Llanowar elves in my tacos.
So yes, the ugly, terrible white borders versus the beautiful, lovely black border cards. That was quite a thing. Now I remember, like even when I started in 1996, everybody was already like completely gung-ho for black border cards.
Oh, yeah.
And so I've always been under that opinion. Like I don't honestly like white border cards. Like I want them to be in that beautiful, dark, rich color, right? A lot of people feel that way. But Magic the Gathering and Wizards of the Coast, they started that policy, but then they kind of abandoned it, right?
But why? Why did they abandon it? They had a good thing going. If you look at, like, well, Flesh and Blood, for instance, with their first edition, and they have their unlimited edition, and that kind of stuff, Magic the Gathering pretty much had the same thing. They had the black border edition and the white border edition. The white border is going to be unlimited, and then they screwed that up and said, well, we're going to go with revised.
Yeah, they literally called it unlimited, and they literally had it in, like, white border. It was different. It was supposed to be, like, to demand. They totally went back on that promise.
Oh, yeah, totally.
In fact, quickly,
100%.
too.
Quickly.
Because
well, they ran out of product, too.
Yeah, there was 1,000 copies of each rare for Alpha. There was 3,000 of Beta. They only got to, like, 15,000 of Unlimited, and then they already cut it off. So they really didn't even stick to it hardly at all, honestly.
Exactly. However, white border did continue on as they reprinted sets and reprinted the core sets, for instance. They kept going with it. And Chronicles was actually one of the first white border when everything went haywire. Does everybody remember complaining about Chronicles and the duplication? And hey, my Nikolai Bolas is now garbage.
Now, did you were playing during that time, right?
Yeah, so I started in 94. I started with Revised, so I thought all cards were white border.
Oh, really?
And then the local store got the Dark in when the Dark came out. Like, I remember the day the Dark came out.
Oh, wow.
And they were the only store that had it, so they charged $8 a pack because they knew they could get away with it.
Really?
Yes.
Oh my God, that is
horrible.
Really?
bad.
So I used my allowance, which was
Holy
$8 a week. I bought one
my
pack of the
gosh.
Dark, and my dad paid the tax.
That's
Oh my gosh.
because I was getting it for $1.25.
So I opened it up, and the borders were black. I'm like, what is going on? And it just blew my mind. And then I found out that Legends existed, and there had been black border basic set before. But yeah, I started with Revised. I thought everything was white border. So white border is actually my preference all these years.
Whoa,
Yeah.
Wow.
dude, that just blows
Yeah.
my brain right there.
And here we are talking about how black border is the best, and you're sitting there like,
I don't think so. You guys suck.
Now, your power set right now actually is white border. So
Yes.
you probably are more nostalgic based on that.
That's why Unlimited is my preference in terms of power. Love white border. My collection is Unlimited and the Four Horsemen sets, and that's it. I don't own anything else. And the way this topic came up is we were talking about the reserve list, which I know people like to argue about.
Yeah, it's fun. We do it over coffee.
I was not talking about the reserve list. No, sorry.
Maybe I brought it up. But I think we all agree promises should be kept. And
Totally.
even if you don't like the list, they should keep the promise.
Totally.
But they broke the original promise, the pre-reserve list promise, which was we will make cards in a limited black border, and then all bets are off when it comes to white border. So
Right.
Chronicles did not break or violate anything they had told us. They had been completely upfront at the beginning of the game.
Yep. And people still complain.
And people
They panicked.
still complained, and that's when they changed the promise.
think they just
and they
panicked
shouldn't
because
have.
of the money. They
They
panicked
should have
because
just
of the money.
keep the original promise is what they should have
Right.
done.
They should have done that, and then everything would have worked itself out.
Maybe. Yeah, maybe. It's tough to say. Go back in time and look at it like with those reverse goggles, because maybe even if they did Chronicles but just a smaller print run of it, maybe if they just did trickled it out a little bit so people got to see it, but the packs would quickly run out, and so the supply wasn't decimated. But they did a lot of them. So not only
yeah,
did
they
they
did
reprint,
tons
but
of
they did a
those.
lot.
Well, were you owning a store back then? You owned a store
No,
at some point.
I
no?
didn't.
Okay, so
I
I
bought
had
out
a.
of store.
I got owned by stores.
So I had a friend that owned a store, and I know one of the concerns was the core set had always, starting with Revised, they put some Arabian and Antiquities cards in there.
Yeah.
But the owners were terrified. What if they just start reprinting old sets in full, but in white border? What if they just put Arabian Nights back out
there.
If they had just
Yep.
trickled random cards into the core set each year instead of a full reprint set, I don't think you would have had the panic that you had.
That sounds like a really valid point.
It does sound like a valid.
Because that's what Revised effectively was. Revised had Curd Apes from Arabian Nights,
Yeah.
right? It had various cards like Ur Graders and stuff like
And
that.
Dragon Engine was a rare, and everybody was happy about Dragon Engine.
That was always such a bad thing. And they still had laces as rares too.
I know.
So, but
They
yeah,
had
that's
figured
a
out
pretty
laces
valid
were
point,
bad.
though. I mean, if they only kept on put in little bits of them into standard editions, maybe the panic wouldn't have been as bad.
True.
They wouldn't have needed to do the reserve list. That's valid, I could say. But who will know for sure? Because things are
Well,
the way
we're
they
going to
are.
build a time machine. We're all going to go back
Right.
and change it.
Hot tub time machine. Everybody got silent right when they said that.
That's because you said hot tub time machine.
They're like, yeah, we're thinking time machine. Oh, he said hot tub. Yeah, I just got
I'm
weird.
out. And just like that, it got weird.
If I build a time machine, I'm going to go back and get some Taco Bell.
Yes, that's true. I will definitely go back to get some Taco Bell too.
Then I'll come back to the future and I'll get more
Wait, what's
Taco
a
Bell.
Taco Bell item that you want that they don't have anymore?
Oh, the Mexican pizzas.
Pizza, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I
You
gotta
definitely
say,
go
I'm
build
grumpy
up-
about that.
Yeah,
I'm not happy.
you definitely build a time machine for that.
Yeah.
Yep.
Go crack some old packs, eat some Mexican pizzas. I think we would all be happy.
Oh yeah, let's do that.
So yeah, it's interesting, the whole white border, black border thing in Wizards, and then you look at Flesh and Blood, and you got the first edition and the unlimited sets. I wonder if they're going to keep up with it, but
I think they will.
I hope they do, because I like the way it is right now. I like that specialty to that first edition set.
Yeah, me too. I think that's great for collectors. It piques the interest, it piques the value, and also you have the extra pieces for people to just want to play the game to play.
Mm-hmm. Yep,
Did we solve our mystery?
I think so.
Okay, good. We
It
are
was-
a good Scooby-Doo in the gang then.
Well, the real mystery is why did they get rid of the Mexican pizza?
Actually, that is a
That
huge
is
question.
a huge question.
Because I don't know anyone that's like, oh, I hate Mexican pizzas.
I don't know anybody who hates Mexican pizzas.
Exactly. Right. So why? Maybe it was just difficult to make. If you work at Taco Bell and you're watching this video, please answer it in the comments for me.
And can
It's
you
the
make a
most burning
black
question.
border Mexican pizza?
Yes. I do not want to see a white border Mexican pizza. I want it to be original, with original tomatoes and deep dark.
Oh, and the
pink.
little green onions that they can't have anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The chives.
Yeah.
Chives.
I need to have some original print chives from Cardamonde. I don't even know what. I don't. It must be late because I'm just talking nonsense.
Exactly.
Now.
I think we're just...
Have they clicked off this video yet?
They probably have, or they're probably just wondering if we're actually going to say something else that might be awe-inspiring.
Oh, probably not. So anyways, guys, I want to hear your comments about what you think about, the white border, black border. Do any of you have any missing details that you could fill in? Is there another Tavis King out there somewhere in the audience that could fill in some of these missing details and tell us why, oh why, did they abandon the white border, black border
And
thing
how
eventually
close
later
was
on?
Revised to having gray border?
Oh.
When did they change their mind on that? I want to know.
Yeah, there was some weird color things they were talking about doing, like different colors
Yep.
with Arabian Nights and stuff too. Is that really a thing? Like
Revised
Revised
was
was
going to
going
have
to
back?
gray borders when they first announced Revised.
on the back or the front?
On the front.
Front.
Weird. Yeah, I wouldn't
Then
have liked that
wasn't
at all.
Arabian Nights supposed to have a pink card back?
Yes, it was. I've even like seen those. I
And
think.
that's messed up.
Well,
So-
Tavis has like a prototype or something.
Yeah,
right?
I think he does.
Ugh.
Somehow, like I don't know who he slept with to get that, but like somehow he's got a copy of like a pink back. And by the way, we're gonna have Tavis over here pretty soon, so we got some cool content coming up.
We always have cool content coming up because you keep the AC so cranked up.
Yes, it's nice and cool now, literally. Okay, so anyways, that's enough, guys. Thanks a lot for tuning in. We'll talk to you later.